It wasn't until Akira came out in the 80s where I actually discovered anime. I never really considered myself a fan of anime. Little did I know at the time that I actually was watching anime as a kid when I was, or a teen, when I would watch stuff like Battle of the Planets or Voltron or shows like that, and not ultimately, or hell, even the live action Ultraman, not even recognizing that I was already being influenced by Japanese pop culture. And Akira obviously blew me away, and that ushered in a new era of, of animation and storytelling available to Western audiences. Uh, so in 1995, we got a animated adaptation of the of Masamune Shirow's groundbreaking manga, The Ghost in the Shell, and it was when I saw it, it was like visually stunning, but I was young, so I didn't have the patience for the story, and was basically just like, okay, come on, move along. But it was years later when I could really appreciate films like Akira and Ghost in the Shell. I really got dwell into what the story is and what the allegories and metaphors are, and the my film going experience has grown richer thanks to my quote unquote maturity. So decades later, here we are in 2017, and we get a live action version of Ghost in the Shell. This film, directed by Rupert Sanders, is a adaptation. As it says, it's an adaptation of Shiro's graphic manga, but does not directly say if it's actually based upon the '95 film directed by Mamoru Oshii. So I haven't myself read the manga, so I'm not sure exactly how close it is to the source. So yeah, so Ghost in the Shell, the 2017 live action version, is visually it's stunning and arresting, but it kind of lacks the punch that the '95 film had because it was still within that decade of Blade Runner, only maybe a few years later, maybe 13 years later after Blade Runner, and clearly Blade Runner's influence on film and after that it was far-reaching. Akira Yamamoto Akira was influenced by Blade Runner, the look of Ghost in the Shell, obviously influenced by Blade Runner. And when you see this live action version, you can't help but think that this looks like 2019 of Los Angeles and Neo Tokyo of Akira, and it does have that look, and it looks like a manga, a live action version of a manga. But on the visually, it's what you would hope for. But conceptually and thematically, it leaves much to be desired. Now, like I said, I haven't read Ghost in the Shell, the manga, but I have seen the movie, and I did watch the movie the day before seeing this, so it's fresh in my mind. And they did take some liberties in changing what the motivations of the characters are and what they're investigating. Now, it's not a spoiler by saying that this version of Ghost in the Shell involves a quest for humanity and a quest for origin, a quest for soul, and what your ultimate purpose is. And of course, being this type of film, in the end, you would hope that the main character finds the answers to those questions. Now, the problem with this is that the original, it was very complex in a way where it's basically how the characters are investigating a terrorist who ends up being, sorry, it's a minor spoiler, who ends up being something else. He's trying to make its way into the real world. And that's what they're investigating. Whereas this one, as I said, is a quest for identity. And because we've seen that so many times before done in other films, even more effectively, like say in Ex Machina or hell, even iRobot, Terminator franchise. That's another example. Or Morgan, although I don't think she wasn't a cyborg, so I guess that doesn't count. But yeah, the quest for identity should be like a relatable thing, but because it's been overwrought, and it's a part of the genre that we've seen quite often. It doesn't quite come off as engaging or compelling as what the original film was, which in terms of the quest was closer to the manga. But I guess the easiest way to describe this is Ghost in the Shell has the look. 2017 Ghost in the Shell has the look and feel of the '95 film, but the real problem is for a film about someone searching for a soul, it lacks soul. It's kind of lifeless in a way, very very mechanical. The film stars Scarlett Johansson as Major, and I think she's quite good in the part, but I'm thinking because the way her and Rupert decided to present the character, she feels very robotic and unrelatable, and lack of emotion. So that in moments where you would think that just like as an audience member you should like detect some emotion, there's no emotion to be found. So it's very hard to. It's almost like you want to relate to your computer. And how do you feel? Honestly, I don't think it's going to give you an legitimate answer. But yeah, I mean, I liked her performance, and I thought she was great in the action. It was just that just the way the character came off as unrelatable, and you weren't emotionally invested in this character. So that when she finds her truths and you should feel something when that happens, but in my case, and I'm guessing other people, I didn't feel anything, so which is kind of unfortunate. The film also stars Pilas Bak as Batu, and Takeshi Kitano, beat Takashi as Aramaki, the head of Section 9, which is where Major works. And Kitano is fantastic in this. And the film also stars Julie Binoche and Michael Pitt. Yeah, like I said, the main problem is it looks great visually. You definitely see live action versions of staple signature scenes from the animated film, and but it's just that there's no emotional core or anything to latch on emotionally to really get you invested into where Major's character is going, and when she ultimately reaches her goal, there's no like it's like you don't really feel much of anything for it. So that's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, Ghost in the Shell, I liked it. I would have to give it a marginal 3 stars out of 5. It's if I took out if it wasn't visually arresting, this would probably be a 2.5 stars or something like that. But I would just give it a marginal 3 stars because just visually it's great, but just lacks any emotional depth. So I guess for this one, it's just pure eye candy, and if you go into seeing it just for eye candy, you'll probably find a lot to like about it. But if you're looking for something with some serious depth and thought-provoking drama and character study, you're probably better off reading the manga or probably even seeing the original anime. So there you have it. 3 stars, just barely, for Ghost in the Shell. If you like this review, please hit that like button below. Have you heard about the Ghost in the Shell live-action adaptation? We're looking forward to Ghost in the Shell live-action adaptation. What did you think of the animated first Ghost in the Shell? I know there were multiple ones. Have you read the manga? Please let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so you can stay on top of my new reviews, retro reviews, and trailer reactions as I post them on my channel. And be sure to hit that bell button so you'll be notified when I do so. So until next time, my friends, see you at the movies.